Let me introduce to you Archbishop Carlson. Archbishop Carlson had been a bishop for 25 years before Pope Benedict appointed him Archbishop of St. Louis in 2009. He served his native archdiocese of St. Paul, Minnesota for 24 years as a priest and auxiliary bishop, followed by 10 years as Bishop of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and 4 years as Bishop of Saginaw, Michigan. And then he got to come here. Archbishop's passion for vocations, youth ministry, and priestly formation have contributed to the growth and vitality of all the dioceses where he has served. It has also involved him on numerous committees for the United States Catholic Conference of Bishops. He's been a popular retreat master for bishops and priests, as well as a popular speaker at national conferences. During his first year in St. Louis, the Archbishop traveled throughout the Archdiocese and spent many hours getting to know the clergy, religious, and faithful people he has been called to serve. He made a special effort to experience firsthand the nearly 200-year tradition of education and faith formation in St. Louis and its neighboring communities. And he has identified Catholic education as his first priority in planning for the future. Now let me tell you a couple of other things about the Archbishop. He has a new knee, just like most of you. Yep, this year. The Archbishop loves to hunt, and he has 2 dogs, a yellow lab and a black lab. And here's the best news of all. I think he's a Cardinal fan. We're happy to have you with us this morning, Archbishop.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have a question. How many of you have ever had to go to the hospital? Just put your hand up. Oh, you're just like me. And do you remember getting the call from the insurance office before you went in? Well, before I went to have my knee replaced, I got that call from the insurance office. And they said, is this Mr. Robert J. Carlson? I said, well, yes, ma'am, it is. And they said, well, who do you work for? I said, well, I work for the Archdiocese of St. Louis. And what's your position there? I said, well, I'm the Archbishop. And then they said, is that full-time or part-time? I said, well, I hadn't received a letter from the Pope today, so it's still full-time. I'll try to hang in there. Sister Suzanne, and member of the board of Cardinal Ritter Senior Services, members of the staff, friends all. As we come together to celebrate Senior Adult Week, I was trying to think of some image that would perhaps help us to discern what it means to be a senior adult. And one of the things I thought of, since yesterday was Mother's Day, is that many of you have brought children into the world. How many have done that? Guys, you can take some credit too if you wish. Well, having had 4 sisters and then lots of nieces who are now married, I've learned some things about mothers. And one of the things I learned is they can determine the cry a mile away. I've been sitting with my sisters when one of the little ones would cry. She'd pick up a cup of coffee and have a sip. I wanted to jump up and help her. She said, oh, never mind. They'll work that cry out. Another time I heard a cry, and from the other room she yelled, quit fighting. How they knew that, I don't know. And then there's that cry when they reach into the refrigerator and warm up a bottle of milk, and they put a bottle in their mouth. They said, well, they're hungry. And then there's that cry when they jump up, rush into the other room, because there's something really serious that's happening. Each of those cries in the life of a parent has a very important meaning. And in the life in the world in which we live, God, who is the Creator, understands and hears all our cries. Sometimes it's the cry of prayer when we're praying for a son or a daughter who has a need. Another time it's the cry of pain when, as we age, sometimes not so gracefully, we really hurt and we ask God to bless us. And sometimes it's the cry of fear, and as a result we turn to others to protect us and watch over us. And sometimes it's the cry of need. And I believe that's the common bond that brings us all together as we gather the 17 various services that make up Cardinal Ritter Senior Services and the beautiful way that this program helps others. As we celebrate Senior Adult Week, I'd like to reflect on some of the things that I believe are strengths of Cardinal Ritter. First of all, as I've come to know in the 2 years I've been here, it's the deep love and care and respect that the staff at Cardinal Ritter Services has for each of you. And we are all blessed because of that. Staff, thank you for hearing our cry. It's the way that you help us appreciate the dignity which each one of us have as individuals created in the image and likeness of God. Board and administrators, thank you for that. It's the way that we can form friendships with one another, never knowing that we'd be living together in the same place or experiencing the same program. And to all those who sit with you, those friends that you've made, we thank God for that. And at the same time, as we celebrate this week, we celebrate each one of you as individuals because of your wisdom and your experience and your love that has made this world a better place. And the entire Archdiocese thanks you for that. You've contributed much to the world in which you live, to the Catholic Church in the Archdiocese of St. Louis, and to people of all faith and a powerful ecumenical spirit which exists in this community. I know that there are many stories, and those are things that you can share with each other. I know that there's great influence because of the people who care for you, and I'm sure you're touched by that. And in a special way, as we celebrate this day, we also celebrate and honor your friends, and your relatives, and those who are important for you. I'd like to ask God's blessing upon our employees, and I thank you for all that you do, for the way that you help respect each of the people who are part of the Cardinal Ritter community, for the attention that you give. And to seniors, I honor you as well. I remember several years ago, I think I was in my 40s, and I called up my mother and I said, "Mom, you know, my thumb has started to hurt and my hand has a little pain in it." And she said, "That'd be arthritis, dear. You're starting to get old. Enjoy it, but remember this, getting old is not for sissies." Thank you very much.